Are you paying attention? Because the game just changed. Again. Breaking! Tomorrow, Czech Republic's central bank is voting on a proposal to stack up to 5% of its reserves in Bitcoin. That's potentially $7 billion flooding into Bitcoin from a single nation state. If approved, they'd be the first Western central bank to officially hold Bitcoin. And it won't stop there, because when one domino falls, others follow. This is Bitcoin game theory in action. Trump's executive order on a national digital asset stockpile is forcing other nations to react. Not only nations, states like Arizona, Utah, South Dakota, they all are already moving to establish their own strategic Bitcoin reserves. The US is waking up, and when America moves, the rest of the world follows. If you're not stacking at least 0.1 Bitcoin right now, you're playing with fire. Because if these nations keep stacking, well, you don't have to be a mathematician to figure out that that 0.1 Bitcoin could be life-changing wealth, and a lot sooner than you may think. We get a lot of news to get to. Send it!
The analogy that I like is Bitcoin as gunpowder. If one country adopts gunpowder, then you really have to adopt gunpowder as well to get into this paradigm of mutual assured destruction or survival. And now we're entering into the global hash war, or the global Bitcoin war, which I wrote about 5 years ago. When everyone was saying that, oh, all these countries are going to ban Bitcoin, I said, no, in fact, it's the opposite. They're all going to embrace Bitcoin. They're going to competitively mine Bitcoin and hoard Bitcoin because it becomes the new global Bitcoin standard. And we'll see every fiat money go to its long-term value of zero. It's demonetizing gold. You see that in the ETF market. People are dumping gold ETFs and buying Bitcoin ETFs. It's demonetizing the stock market. It's demonetizing the bond market. It's demonetizing the property market. It's demonetizing the fine art market. Everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. Everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. So anything you hold as an asset, it's the purchasing power relative to Bitcoin is going to go down. So this is the realization that's creeping into the minds of folks who have been observing Bitcoin for a while. The political class is really interesting to see so many politicians up here talking about Bitcoin. They have the talking points and they sound good. I don't think they've given it a deep thought yet, because it disintermediates politicians. Because not only will the central banks be disintermediated by Bitcoin, but so will the nation state as we know it. So the nation state will dissolve, as well as the central banks.
All right, so let's break it down. The head of the Czech National Bank, Alice Michael, is no ordinary central banker. He's a former investment fund manager, and he's a bit of a game theory guy. Tomorrow, he's bringing a Bitcoin allocation proposal to his board, arguing that Bitcoin is a superior long-term reserve asset. His pitch? Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. And if the Czech Republic had allocated just 5% of its reserves to Bitcoin over the past decade, their annual returns would have been 3.5% higher, even with the volatility. And guess what? He's not alone. The Trump administration's Bitcoin-friendly policies have sent shockwaves around the world. We're watching game theory unfold in real time. The legacy financial system is laughing nervously, but this is just the beginning. Bitcoin reserves are spreading like wildfire. And here's where it gets insane. The US states are moving fast. First, Arizona is set to become the first US state to vote on creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Then Utah just made history, becoming the second state to push its Bitcoin reserve bill past committee and the House. Next up, a Senate vote. And now South Dakota is also entering the game. A bill has officially been filed to create a Bitcoin reserve strategy. Let's be real, the Fed can't buy Bitcoin, but the states sure as hell can. And once this Bitcoin race kicks off, there's no stopping it. There's no putting the genie back in the bottle. You want to know why 0.1 Bitcoin is your one-way ticket to Valhalla? This is going to blow your mind. Let's crunch the numbers, but before we do, look at our likes.
But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pep while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors, because all this nation-state adoption means one thing. The world is waking up to Bitcoin's true value. But if you don't hold your own keys, you don't own it. That's why self-custody is non-negotiable. And if you're looking to learn how to secure your stack, you're going to want to check out the Bitcoin Way. Simply Bitcoin Originals are powered by the Bitcoin Way. They bring over 25 years of cybersecurity experience. They are your IT team in the Bitcoin world. They help bridge that gap from the why Bitcoin to the how Bitcoin. And as your dedicated Bitcoin IT team, the Bitcoin Way is here to guide you from start to finish on your journey to properly self-custody your Bitcoin. From your first wallet node to advanced multi-sig security, inheritance planning, and much more, the Bitcoin Way has got you covered. And if you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link below. Big finish time. Right now, you can still buy 0.1 Bitcoin for under $10,000, or right around there. But in 20 years, that 0.1 Bitcoin, 1/10 of a Bitcoin, could be worth 64 million cuck bucks. Roll it!
Bitcoin over the last 5 years has returned 55% CAGR. If you get a tenth of a Bitcoin right now, just sit on a tenth of a Bitcoin over, and you know, your audience, I'm sure, is not old farts like me. You're probably younger. Well, guess what? You go 20 years, that's $64 million. That's enough. It's plenty in today's purchasing power. Now, I don't know what it's going to be then. That's cuck bucks. It could be like 200 million. Who knows? Could be buying a cup of coffee. But in today's dollars and purchasing power, that tenth of a Bitcoin is $64 million. Just let it sit there. That's enough. But you know, you're going to struggle to come up with 100 grand when Bitcoin's $1 million a coin. If you're betting on the wrong side of this, you're going to have your eyes water. You're going to sit there. We're going to put the dial on 11, cook noodles, and you're going to be sitting there going, what the f*** just happened? Because it's going to take off.
That's generational wealth for stacking a tenth of a Bitcoin today. Guys, do you see what's happening? Governments, central banks, they're realizing they need Bitcoin. They don't really have an option. Meanwhile, most people are still asleep at the wheel, buying jizz blossoms, or whatever the f*** they are. But this is your wake-up call. The shitcoin casino is collapsing. Bitcoin dominance nearing 62%. You know what's f***ing hilarious? There's 36 million shitcoins that have been created, and yet Bitcoin dominance is still climbing. And despite it, you're going to look on X and you're going to see shitcoin gamblers still screaming alt-season. Ah! That's who Trump was impersonating. I get it now. Knock it off with the shitcoins, Orange Man. We only go to Valhalla with Bitcoin. It's going to take some time. He's coming around. But on a positive note, Trump just nuked the legacy media. Carolyn Levitt just dropped a bombshell. The Trump White House will be granting press passes to independent journalists, podcasters, and social media influencers. You hear that, though? The legacy media is dead. Hey, if you guys put in a request, I promise it'll be hilarious. But no more corporate propaganda gatekeeping of the news cycle. Get ready. The mainstream media meltdowns, they're coming. We are one headline away from a massive supply shock. Central banks are waking up. U.S. states are moving faster than anyone expected. If you don't have 0.1 Bitcoin yet, I don't know what to tell you. Because Bitcoin's next move, it won't be slow. It'll be violent.
These things are very sudden. If you look at the failure of fiat currencies, they don't gradually fail. They fail spectacularly. And this is the premise behind the 1 million Bitcoin call, that it's not going to be a gradual, slow increase to $1 million a coin, but rather a very short and violent upheaval that sends us there in a matter of months, weeks to months. I believe we're also on the verge of countries issuing debt, sovereign debt, to buy Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin bond program, it is going to come simply because the MicroStrategy model has illustrated that this works, and it works very well. And it's just simply a matter of time before a country pulls that trigger and unleashes a torrent of sovereign debt to acquire Bitcoin.
If you're not on the train, you're just going to get left behind. You're also going to get left behind if you don't get tickets to Mining Disrupt 2025. It's the biggest Bitcoin mining conference on the planet, and it's coming to Fort Lauderdale, March 25th through the 27th. Get your tickets today and join thousands of Bitcoin mining professionals and enthusiasts from around the globe for an electrifying experience at Mining Disrupt. See the latest cutting-edge hardware, products, and services that are revolutionizing the Bitcoin mining industry. And for over half a decade, Mining Disrupt has been the premier conference exclusively dedicated to Bitcoin mining. Be part of the future and join the revolution that's reshaping the world of Bitcoin mining. Don't miss out. Head over to miningdisrupt.com and get your tickets today. Use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. The Simply Bitcoin news desk will be on site, and I'll be holding it down with Nico and Opti, and we hope to see you there. Hope you guys like this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp, and sound off in the comments. What do you think of the Czech Republic news? Is this the start of the next Bitcoin game theory wave? Nations FOMOing into Bitcoin. We like right there? It's like right there. Also, thinking about tomorrow, should we destroy the status over at Ripple? Super gay name, by the way. Or dive deep into growing evidence that Trump is looking to end the Fed this term? It's kind of like Goosebumps, like Choose Your Own Adventure. That shit was cool. 90s were so much better. Hey, but let us know what you want to see tomorrow, and I'll get to work. I love you guys. The best is yet to come. Catch you tomorrow.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.